What is going on, everyone? It's your boy 300. We are back with another video. Now, if I sound kind of weird, if you see me breathing heavy, yo, I'm sick. I caught a cold, and that's the worst shit for me to catch because my nose is so goddamn big, so all this shit is really bothering me. Anyways, this is going to be a response video to my boy Kidsmoove. I think he's a dope-ass commentator. He got a dope-ass podcast as well, but there's some things that I really disagree with him a lot of the time when it comes down to not him defending Xbox, but his views on certain topics that involve Xbox. In this case, he dropped a video earlier and it's titled "Backwards Compatibility is Xbox's Most Underrated Feature." Immediately reading that title, I disagreed with it because I knew somewhere in the video he was going to discuss the points, and I knew just the fact that it's an underrated feature, I just did not agree with it at all. Mind you, I'm not going to shit talk him. That's my boy right there. Nor will I disrespect him in any shape or form. I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm here for. Once again, I really enjoy his content. That's my dude right there. So I'm definitely going to support him along the way, whether I agree with him or not. But let's get right to this. So pretty much, he's just talking about how backwards compatibility, in his opinion, is just an underrated feature. The most people look down upon it. People always talking shit and try to make jokes and be like, but where the game's at? And how he was describing the benefits of backwards compatibility, that is not just a regular feature but also does other things too to make benefits. So let me just explain. Backwards compatibility on the Xbox One and just in general is really a feature that should be on every console. It sucks that on PlayStation there's a stupid ass feature or stupid ass thing called PS Now. The most dumbest shit ever, that it doesn't let you download games as far as I'm concerned, but it makes you stream them. And in some cases you can have a PS4 Pro, but the shit could look like ass because if you have a bad internet connection, it's gonna look like butt. And to be honest with you, their little prices and subscriptions are terrible. Plus, they don't even have that many wide variety of great games. I'm sorry. The whole PS Now gimmick is trash to me. And backwards compatibility is an amazing feature, and I feel like it should be there. So just like virtual consoles should hurry up and come on the Switch, because that's a feature that a lot of gamers would really love and appreciate. It gives you a chance to go back on some old games, play some stuff that you are a fan favorite of, and just allows you to really explore games that may be on your backlog. So I understand, and that's why I feel like that's a real important feature. Not only that it's a dope feature, an important feature to have, especially moving forward in current gen hardware. Their backwards compatibility games is not only just you popping in the disc, it's not only just you running it even if you have the digital download from your previous console. These guys are actually going in and with certain titles, enhancing them a bit, actually making them run better, smoother. Not saying they're gonna run the full 60, but they look better, they're well presented on the console. They're overall probably a better looking and better playing game in general. So they're not just popping it in and porting it over. They're really doing something here with some of these backwards compatibility titles. But this is my thing. It's a feature, Smooth. And at the end of the day, when you have a console that's lacking exclusives, and I know touching on that is really where you start making the faces when people talk about it on podcasts and shows, because that's where you start coming in and you start saying things like, but is this, that, and the third, but see it, understand something. When people say there's no games for Xbox, they don't mean physically. And to my knowledge, I don't think they mean legit there's no games, because we all understand and we recognize that Sea of Thieves came out. But the majority of us also recognize through experience as well as reviews that came out online, because myself, I played it, that playing it for hours, you understand that there's barely any content here and you do almost the same thing. There's a lack of personality with this game, other than the fact that it has beautiful vistas and a great visual concept. But there's nothing going on in this game. And you're really, or to some degree, defend this, and you make it seem like this is worthy of a game to defend by saying, yeah, we do have exclusives. No, to be honest with you, this game is a flop, despite the fact that it's sold well, I guess, and it was Rare's best-selling IP and it outsold MLB The Show. Regardless what you're saying, the majority of content creators aren't even streaming this game. This game is not streamlined, and this is supposed to be that game that was meant for streamers. Streamers aren't really even playing this game right now, and we already made this clear when the game first came out. This game did a very poor job at including content and originality in the content, and the fact that we have to wait a few months to get an AI opponent is ridiculous. And the reason why I wanted to point that out is because when people say there's no game, Smooth, they're just pretty much saying, nah, Sea of Thieves just wasn't that game. Just like with PlayStation or with Nintendo. A lot of people don't even like Kirby on Nintendo, and on PlayStation there's tons of exclusives that come out that are pretty trash. So it is what it is. It just be a miss, and we gotta wait for the next one. So for Xbox, Sea of Thieves wasn't that game. I think State of Decay 2 actually might be that game, but Sea of Thieves just wasn't that game. It was that game for like 2-3 days. That's it. But it's a missed chance. That's it. Now back to the important subject here, which is you stating that backwards compatibility is Xbox's most underrated feature. Me personally, I don't think it's underrated. I just think, and it is what it is, that it's just a feature and it's not a selling point of a console. It's a feature that we all understand, we all recognize, and for the most part appreciate, especially Xbox gamers. But also understand something too. It's not that it's underrated, Smooth. It's just that there's a lot of consumers, there's a lot of Xbox owners who spent $500 on an Xbox One X expecting new experiences. No one out here spent $500 on an X to go back and play games that were already available on their previous console. Whether or not the game has been enhanced, whether or not they bumped up the graphics, or whether or not they bumped up some of the textures. No one here is spending $500 on an Xbox One X to go on backwards compatibility mode and play these old games. That's a feature that a lot of us was like, yo, that's a great feature, a very important feature. But over time, as an Xbox owner, to most people, because it seems like you just have no problem with it. I'm gonna be really honest with you, Smooth. This is the part where I'm just like kind of lost in it, because I don't know if sometimes you're trolling or not, or if you're dead serious. But on multiple accounts, you have made it very clear, like you're cool with not getting new exclusives and whatnot, because you like your Halo, Gears, and Forza, and that you like your multi-plats and whatnot. And that's some rarity shit right there, because a lot of Xbox owners, people who invested $500 in their console, really expect and want new experiences. You meaning to tell me that an Xbox One X came out with all this hardware, all this tech, and it has not produced games on the level of what we expecting, like God of War? And I hate that I have to bring up games like God of War. Like, you know what? Fuck that game right now. I love God of War, by the way. But I don't want to use a game like that. But the point is, like, story-driven games or new multiplayer experiences, we have not gotten that with Xbox. I don't want to hear that PUBG jumped on there. We are expecting, whether if it's a Xbox third-party exclusive studio or an Xbox in-house exclusive studio, whatever, we are expecting new experiences, especially those who invested $500 plus tax on this console. You, on the other hand, are the few who really don't mind. But as a content creator and also a gamer, you should be recognizing on both accounts, like, yeah, I may not have a problem with it, but I can see why these people have a problem with it. And you shouldn't really be shocked and surprised when people are shoved down their throats about this backwards compatibility feature and are just like, yo, fuck that feature. And that's why I'm saying it's not that this feature is underrated. It's just, it's almost, let me give you a very clear example. It's like almost having a bad bitch, right? She has ass and titties, she look good, she even got a good job, right? I mean, to most cases, some people think that's fine, but to a lot of men out there, the most important feature for a woman is that, yo, she gotta cook and her personality gotta be on point. Imagine all the time you're like boasting about this, yo, your girl bad, yo, she got ass, titties, this and that. One day somebody's gonna be like, yo, babe, but that bitch can't fucking cook. She ain't got the main shit in her. She can't cook. That's the same thing about Xbox that a lot of gamers are really upset at. This shit got the tech, it got the hardware, it got the ability. It's software driven, meaning that Microsoft can really bring out updates to really secure its capabilities. That shit can push out so much, but this shit ain't dropping new experiences. That's like the bad bitch. The bitch can't cook. All she doing is ordering takeout, the same shit that we been had. And with this, yo, that's a lit fucking example, by the way. I ain't even gonna hold you up, but it's the most simplest example I could come up with for everyone to understand. Doesn't matter if you're young or old. That's what I'm getting at. You're looking for that perfect girl, you're looking for that one, but the fact is that you found it on the outside, but on the inside is just missing that one important thing, and that means shorty can't cook. In this case, the Xbox One X got everything we want with consoles, everything we want with the hardware and tech. But the shit ain't pumping out games, man. It got all these amazing features. Game Pass, Games with Gold is doing great. I think this whole backwards compatibility feature is the most important thing on consoles to date. But people can't be just buying consoles for that shit. And there's a lot of people who's just not gonna give a fuck until they get what they want, which is these experiences. And it's not just one or two groups of people. There's thousands of people out there. There's gamers out there who want this shit. And I'm gonna just use them as an example. No shade. I really fuck with your podcast group, but even Jez and Frog, I can hear them like they enjoy these games on PlayStation, bro. And don't be upset at that. I mean, just embrace it, like, yo, because you even fucked with God of War. So there's a huge problem here. So once again, I don't feel and I don't agree that Xbox's backwards compatibility feature is underrated. That's just not the selling point for people right now, and that's not gonna hold people up when we've been waiting nearly 4 years for new games, new experiences. Well, maybe I'm exaggerating, like maybe 2 years or so. But still, man, like, you can only play a game for so long. Even if Scalebound would have came out, give it 6 months, people would be like, yo, where's the other games coming out? Because understand, Scalebound wasn't going to last forever, man. No games last forever. Like, in 5 months, God of War is going to be like, okay, where's the new game? Everybody's going to be beating that shit already. People move on. But that's just my opinion. Once again, that's my boy Smooth. I just wanted to respond to it because I don't have enough time to really like to even ask him to get on the show. Sometimes I get on so late, and I know he doesn't want to break his podcast setup to get me on. It sucks because, you know, my work schedule is pretty damn ass. But I really fuck with him and his group, man. The podcast dudes are really dope. Link will be in the description below if you guys want to make sure you check out his channel as well as his podcast. It's every Wednesday after GMG, the GMG show. You already know. Oh, and one last thing. To be quite honest, it's also fucked up for me to say this, but the reality is this backwards compatibility feature is on the wrong console. And I hate that I have to say that because it sounds like I'm some hating shit, but no. Think about it like this. I can name a few games on Xbox that people will be like, oh my God, I need to go back to it and love it. I need to do this, which is like what, old Halo, which has been remastered, or if you want to say Project Gotham or something like that, or Crimson Skies or something like that or whatever. But that backwards compatibility feature would be so much more beneficial on a PlayStation, which since the 90s had crazy ass fucking exclusives up to date, and that would benefit them more. Sounds like some bullshit, but anyways, I'm out of here. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. It's a pretty lengthy video, whatever. But yeah, I'm out. God bless. Peace.